In darkest night, the Green Lantern light is here to save us with the new trailer of Lantern. This show has been super controversial because of the character design and how it's made. People are talking a lot about it. But now this trailer is trying to fit that and give fans exactly what they want. For the title, they finally add green to the trailer. Plus, we get to see more of Jon Stewart Power and of course Hal Jordan. Do you like this trailer? Do you think it's look amazing? Or do you think James Gunn made a mistake with the style and the main concept? I'll be reading you in the comments. The biggest complaint about this show at first was that it didn't feel like a superhero story. It looked like too much like a western or just a generic cop show with two rival partners. No power, no Green Lantern vibe. But with this new trailer, fans can finally relax a little. We see a lot of superpower now. They are using their ring for force fields, flying, and even, that funny scene where Jordan creates a fake dollar bill just to play around. However, I still think, the show won't have that much action. That could be a bad thing. They might use, their power for a silly little thing, giving off 40 minutes or, filler story or only a stupid stand or little stand about the dollar and only 10 or 15 minutes of actual cool action at the end. Because of the budget or that could make the show super boring. But, it's something like my suspicion. But what do you think? Am I just crying too much or do you think I'm right? First of all, on a personal note, I find it really disappointing to see an old Hal Jordan. Why make him an old man instead of having him and Jon Stewart working side by side at their best? We will probably only see him in the show. He passed the torch to Jon and maybe do a quick cameo in a movie and then goodbye Hal. It's a shame for the character, man, it's Hal Jordan. But what is truly open the criticism is the suit. Oh my god, that suit is horrible. As you can see in the thumbnail, it look terrible. I don't know, it look like a jacket that is way too big for him. It's something like, something big, something huge, and it's horrible in the old aspect. I think we were too harsh on Ryan Reynolds. His Green Lantern movie is pure comic book style until the middle of the film. It made me laugh when people hate on it so much. Brother, it feels like just like the comics and the animated movie. I never understood the hate. Honestly, I prefer the Ryan Reynolds suit over the giant oversized things. The new suit doesn't convince me at all. It looks like faded and almost yellowish. Even Guy Gardner's suit in Superman looks better. And I'm not buying this new suit at all, guys. Sorry, it's horrible. Let me in the comment, do you prefer the Ryan Reynolds suit or this new one? Because for me, this one is terrible. On the other hand, we had a detail about the plot. Did you know even a little bit about the lore of Green Lantern? The trailer gives you clues about the villain. We hear them constantly talking about fear. Are you afraid? I know, afraid. Fear, 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 constantly. So this is obviously referring to the yellow power, the yellow lantern, and Sinister. In fact, is there a scene everyone is talking about right now where Hal Jordan, very Batman style, go to ask him for advice? It's like things are so bad that I have to turn to evil to understand it, right? And that's where we supposedly see Sinister. We see him from behind, and of course, Hal Jordan wearing that horrible suit in some kind of prison. For that moment on the trailer, focusing heavily on I'm not afraid and fear. In fact, there is also a scene where someone puts a yellow liquid into Jon Stewart's head. So it seems like Parallax is going to start the whole Green Lantern phase in the James Gunn universe. Going back to Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, people are talking about, their dynamic. These grumpy master and the Rocky are not going to get along. At first, you can clearly see there will be conflict, especially with the rumor that only one person can wear the ring. A lot of people are discussing this, even if the trailer doesn't show it directly. It looks like both have their ring, and that's fine. But what if the truth that only one has it? That will explain why they are fighting like you are not worthy. I'm better than you, and all that. Also, you can tell Hal Jordan is much older and was a public superhero when Jon Stewart was just a kid. Hal even tells him, I've been here since you were little. Then we got those flashbacks of Kid Jon watching and admiring Jordan. Again, why did they make him so old? Anyway, the point is that the rivalry between these two is very strong. It feels like Jon Stewart just wants to force Paul Hal Jordan into retirement. But what really worried me, is how the story will develop. Like I said at the start, we don't see a main villain or a CGI villain. I mean, it's Green Lantern, CGI, alien, all that. Nothing at all. It's something like hunting this small town. Then the seed of Parallax through Sinister is probably taking over the locals, and that's why the town's people are constantly attacking Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. And that is something like, something boring. And guys, they are Lantern. I wanted an epic space battle with monsters, but it doesn't look like we're getting that. If they are trying to save budget, we might just get a lot of drama, ton of flashback about their past, and then, like I said, only 10 or 15 minutes, or actually ring and lantern action at the very end. We'll probably see micro power most of the time, like Jordan making the fake deal, a quick shield, or some flying, but they won't put all their shit on the table until the final minutes of the episode. That's my theory. Don't expect monster and don't expect non-stop action. Expect a lot of drama. And until the last 10 or 20 minutes, extreme action. But we'll see. Let me in the comments you think I'm exaggerating. To me, everything points to this structure. I hope I'm wrong. With the return of Green Lantern Light and the fresh look of lanterns, the DCU fandom is officially on fire. Despite all the early controversy surrounding the suit design and the show's dark direction, finally seeing Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart unleash the true power of the ring completely changed the game for what James Gunn is building. Honestly, my biggest fear is that they are turning this cosmic masterpiece into a typical low-budget cop show. We all know James Gunn promises a grounded, true detective style for Lantern. But these are the Green Lantern we are talking about. If the rumors are true and the entire show takes place on Earth, we might spend 8 episodes watching Hal Jordan and Jon look for clues in a small town instead of fighting epic alien threats. They will probably give us just enough green energy to control to keep us watching. I mean, seriously, this series worried me a lot. I hope being wrong. Subscribe if you like this breakdown. Tell me, am I wrong? Will they surprise us? Are you a hype or not? Honestly, it doesn't blow my mind, but it's definitely a huge improvement compared to those awful first look we got before. By the way, check out my review of The Voice in the finale is coming. Remember, it's today, and tomorrow we are gonna have the full breakdown. You can miss it. Subscribe for my full breakdown of the finale, and of course my first impression of Lantern that it's been doing since day 1. See you there.